So, yesterday my girlfriend came to my place, and we had dinner. I made dinner for both, and she was chilling in the living room. I would come up to her periodically for cuddles and kisses, and to talk, and she was always very receptive. After dinner, she was reading on the couch. I started cuddling her, and whispering sweet nothings with a bit of a sexy edge, and she didn't respond how I expected. She backed off a bit, and said she felt I had been touching her throughout the night, only to have sex in the end. Which, yes, I was hoping we could have sex, but no, that was not the only reason I did it. I was whining and dining, not only to get sex at the end of the night, but because I enjoyed the experience by itself. Then she said she felt this way often, that I only cuddle / kiss / etc. when I'm trying to get her in bed. At this point I was like, hold up, what? And explained that no, that's not true. We have sex once or twice a week most weeks, but we cuddle almost every night. She asks me to caress her hair when she's falling asleep, and I happily agree without trying to make a move on her. Sometimes we take showers together, and I never try to touch her sexually and just help with rubbing her back and applying shampoo. If I wake up earlier on weekends, I love joining her in bed for a few minutes to cuddle when she wakes up. Dozens and dozens of examples of me touching her lovingly and caringly without trying to make a move on her, and she complains that I basically only ever touch her with lustful intentions. So after I said all of this, she backs out a bit and says she didn't mean to hurt me, but she feels that way. So I asked why she feels that, what do I do that makes her feel that way, and she didn't say anything. I asked again, and she said it was nothing. I begged to tell me what she feels, and she refused. Tonight I tried calmly asking her about this again, and she said she didn't want to talk about it. So, she accused me of something that isn't true. Then when confronted with something that contradicts her view, she back out a bit, but affirms that's how she feels without providing any examples, and then don't want to talk about it anymore. How to solve this issue with her? **TL. Doctor, girlfriend said I only touch her with the intention of having with her. I provided a myriad of examples in which I regularly do the exact opposite, but she doubled down on it and then refused to explain why she felt that way and continues to refuse. How to get her to communicate what she feels and solve this issue? I understand how this is frustrating for both of you. She tried to articulate that the frequency of touch turning into requests for sex / sensuality is uncomfortable for her. And she was met with a laundry list of "you're lying, no it isn't, here's why." And here's the thing, you're technically not wrong. You refuted her statement with facts. This was about feelings and emotions, and now she feels like an A** for bringing her discomfort with your actions up. Listen to her. Ask, specifically, if the pressure of the possibility of any cuddling turning into sex is making her nervous. This isn't uncommon in the slightest, because when affection always feels like it's going to feel like it leads to sex, affection can feel bad, history of sexual trauma or not. She may just need reassurance that she doesn't always have to have sex, or go through the mental load of preparing to reject you. Explore that. The mental load of preparing to reject you. Thank you for articulating this so well. I recommend asking her what kinds of touch she wants and how often. Maybe she wants more hand holding or back rubs, not just snuggles and kisses. I assume her love language is probably touch, so she likely isn't feeling love how she needs right now. I'd suggest asking and trying to understand more of her perspective vs jumping in to list all the things you have done. I've been in this spot with my ex too, where I felt he started to only kiss or snuggle me when he wanted sex. He stopped holding my hand, back rubs, and touching me just because it started feeling like it was only for when he was in the mood for sex. So I feel where she's coming from, because it can start to feel empty and lonely, and like you're just a body sometimes. I've been the girl in this situation, and sometimes it really does feel like affection only leads to sex, especially if that is always how nights with each other end. 90% of my past relationships definitely felt like this, and it does make you feel like a sex object at times. She may have trauma relating to that. I definitely suggest listening to her and asking her what you can do to help her not feel that way, rather than just saying she is wrong. That will cause her to shut down, and you will get nowhere. I will also suggest sometimes waiting for her to initiate affection/sexual stuff. I know this has helped me a lot with my current relationship and takes away a lot of the pressure to constantly be available for sex. Good luck, and I hope this helps a bit. I concur with the trauma bit. Took me years to realize my negative associations were because of an abusive relationship I've had. Therapy really helped. Here's an idea if you're interested in solving that problem. Sit your girlfriend down and explain that you've thought about what she said and apologize for trying to prove her wrong instead of listening. Ask if she would like to be the person to initiate sex for a while. Reassure her that you are 100% only interested in sex she actively wants to have with you, that she should not initiate unless she 100% feels it, not out of obligation or guilt or anything, and mean it. Then continue with the same physical affection as before. Let her, and you, just enjoy it without having the pressure of sex involved. Check back in a couple of months to talk about how she's feeling and how you're feeling. Openly, honestly talk about where the both of you are with the goal of improving your relationship as a team. I think this is a good suggestion. I was getting anxious a while back because a health issue was affecting how I feel about intimacy, and my boyfriend offered to step back and let me initiate. It can help a lot. Sounds like she's touched out. I was even a little skeeved with the repeated mentions of touching, caressing lovingly, cuddling, etc. Makes me feel crowded just reading it. I know everyone is different and many like constant stroking or whatever. It appears she doesn't, which should say something. She should say something to him then. Like, hey, I need some space or anything. That gives him a clue that it's not wanted. You need to listen to what she's saying. You admittedly turned a day of affection into lustful intentions. It may not be how you set off, but that's where it ended. I'm willing to bet this isn't an isolated incident. Non-sexual touch is important, and she's communicating to you that she needs more intimacy. That doesn't lead to sex. Listen to what she's communicating and stop trying to prove her wrong. That makes sense. Op asked how to solve this issue, but also bulldozed over his girlfriend's feelings. She's indirectly trying to tell you that she feels some pressure to have sex when she's with you. I assume you have mismatched libidos. While I'm no psychologist, ultimately this sounds like she was trying to initiate a conversation on an emotional level, and you brought it to the subjective side, which of course creates tension in the communication. She was trying to voice her discomfort and you invalidated her feelings. Maybe you should look up some threads. There are women who have posted about feeling like they're constantly grabbed and harassed by their own partner. Just Google Reddit, partner keeps touching me. There might be some that are more similar to your situation, but you'd get a general gist of what many women find difficult to articulate. Because you conclude in your post that she's accusing you of something untrue, but it sounds more like she thinks you just don't understand, and she doesn't really know how to set up boundaries better. You immediately invalidated how *SHE* felt. Makes perfect sense. She doesn't want to discuss it anymore with *YOU*. Op tells GF her feelings are wrong. GF no longer wants to share her feelings. Op shocked Pikachu face. Oh no, this is tricky. She said a thing about how she feels, and you felt it was justifiably unfair and refuted. Now she still feels that way, but also unfortunately feels upset for being proven wrong / or like you're not listening to her. This wasn't about how many times you actually touched her. It's about the pressure she feels when you do. I think the conversation should be how you can offer her touch without her feeling like you have sex on the agenda. It could be type of touch, maybe holding hands instead of holding her body, for example, or just explicitly saying, let's just cuddle tonight. Focus on the message, not the mess around it. I don't think she feels upset about being proven wrong. I don't think there is anything Op could have said that would make her feel that way. You can't prove someone out of their feelings. I wish he had just said, I'm sorry that I made you feel that way. Is there something I can do so you won't feel like that anymore? Maybe take sex off the table for a while. Not in like a withholding or manipulative way, but just like, hey, I hear you. Why don't we table sex for the next 2 months and spend that time reconnecting? You can focus on talking, and you can still be affectionate with both of you, knowing the affection isn't being given in order to receive something later. It might help you both. I've been this girl. My husband and I had a hard time with this exact thing a few years ago. You refuted her feelings with facts. These facts are true, yes, but her feelings are too. She isn't in your head. She can't explicitly know exactly what you're thinking when you are touching her. So while you are thinking about how it's 100% innocent, she may not feel the same way. My husband's love language is physical touch, and I always felt like he was trying to get me into bed. I didn't say anything for a long time, and when I did, he did the same thing you did, and I shut down. Feelings aren't facts, friend. My advice? Tell her you realize that her feelings and your facts are two totally separate things. Allow her to be entirely honest with you about how she's feeling, and just try to understand. Don't refute her feelings. Accept them as her facts. Ask her if she's feeling touched out by all of the physical affection, and then give her the opportunity going forward to tell you honestly when she feels that way. Her communicating this in the first place is a good sign. Don't shut down the line of communication with her. Keep it open. Keep it honest. It can be really shocking when someone else's perception is so different from your own, especially when it's their perception of you. If she feels like you have an ulterior motive when you cuddle, kiss her, and show her affection, it's probably a deeper issue than the way she articulated it. It's not how often you initiate or attempt to initiate, it's how she feels when you do so. I can understand why you wanted to defend yourself here, but what did you think the outcome was going to be when you listed all the examples you think prove her wrong? Did you think she was going to be so impressed with your ratio of sex to not sex cuddles that she would completely reevaluate how she felt? Ask her why she feels how she does, and ask how you can make her more comfortable. How do you react when she turns you down? Does she ever initiate? These are important questions to ask yourself too. You think she's not aware of your intentions, and she is. B. You're not listening to her. A. If she's aware of his supposed intentions, she could just say, hey, I'd love to chill tonight, but I don't think I feel like any hanky panky later. Cool. B. How is he supposed to listen to her? She's not giving him any information. From what you've wrote, it sounds like she may be projecting, but you could also be indirectly causing these feelings too. Oftentimes women are made to feel bad by current or past partners for not having sex as often as some may want to. Maybe she's afraid that there is a sexual compatibility problem, or you are wanting it more than you are verbally letting on, but you're consistently attempting to have sex. Which is not wrong if you want to, but maybe she feels you'll become completely unhappy if she turns down your advances often enough. Being defensive when you can't see where you're doing anything wrong won't help this, and it's not about who's wrong or right, but that you both are satisfied within the relationship. Just sit her down and let her know that you are satisfied with you guys' intimacy. If this true, then try to have more time where you guys are chilling on the couch cuddling, or in the bed to watch a movie only, etc. I have definitely been in your girlfriend's position. My boyfriend is very similar to you. Physical touch is his love language. Granted, we only see each other once a week, so we always have sex when we see each other. It's hard. She is most likely insecure about you only wanting her for her body. Insecurities are not always rational. As someone with that insecurity, you could be the best partner in the world, but the brain is a powerful thing. In general, affection leads to sex, whether it's immediate or days after. The insecurity is that you cuddled me 2 days ago, you kissed my forehead yesterday, just so we could f*** today. From the other perspective, it doesn't really make sense, but at least for me, sometimes sex feels transactional. She might think your loving acts are points to get sex. Sit down together and make a list of what type of physical affection is trying to initiate sex and what is just romantic. I'm willing to bet that you two have a different line between romantic touch and sexual touch. For example, I've had to teach male partners that touching my breasts is always viewed as sexual. They saw it as comforting to hold a boob. I didn't find it relaxing to have a hand in my bra. Just hold hands or put your arm around her without it ending in sex. But the next time she starts touching, and it seems like it only results in sex, speak up. Are you interested in how she's feeling, or to tell her she's wrong about how she's feeling? You spend every answer here arguing and showing very little will to actually being introspective. Loved what another commenter said. Agree to let her initiate sex for the foreseeable. See where that lands you. Did you get any advice here that is helping you? I'm genuinely curious, because I have a similar communication issue as your GF, and I'm trying to understand how to communicate better because, like you, my significant other doesn't get what I'm trying to say at all, and it's frustrating for both of us. Feelings aren't always rational, so you can't deal with them simply by spitting facts to tell someone they shouldn't be feeling this way, as that's just hurtful and won't necessarily make the feeling go away. The best thing to communicate when it comes to feelings isn't that feel something, but why you feel that. That can be hard to articulate, but that's really the only way for both people to have the same understanding of the situation and then be able to talk it through. Weird, me and my boyfriend had the same fight yesterday. IDKY, I feel the way your GF does. Maybe I'm damaged, lol. You're not damaged. It's not an unusual feeling, because I have been there too. Sounds like she might have trauma associated with feeling expected to have sex. I've certainly felt that before. Me too. All an ex of mine had to do was come within 5 feet of me, and I felt like all he was doing was looking at how to have sex with me. We broke up unsurprisingly.